The royal family thought they had finally buried the past. They stripped away the titles, cleared the calendars, and expected a quiet exit into the shadows of history. But in a secluded chalet high in the Austrian Alps, the silence has just been broken. Sarah isn't just hiding, she's documenting. Every secret shared, every hidden arrangement, and every piece of evidence she's kept for decades is now on the table. You'll want to stay until the very end of this video, because we're diving into the specific documents she's reportedly holding and the one nuclear reason why the crown is suddenly terrified of a woman they thought they'd finally erased. It's a story of survival, betrayal, and a billion-dollar secret that's about to break. If you enjoy deep dives into the world's most guarded secrets, I'd love to have you join our community. Feel free to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update on the stories the headlines won't tell you. Now, let's get into what's really happening behind those closed doors in Austria. The silence in the Alps isn't a sign of peace. It's the sound of a fuse burning down. While the world thinks she's simply enjoying the crisp mountain air, insiders say she is sitting on a digital time bomb. This isn't just a vacation, it's a strategic exile. Reports suggest her suite has become a makeshift war room, filled with boxes of documents and encrypted drives that have never seen the light of day. For decades, she was the ultimate vault, the one person who stayed quiet while her world crumbled around her. But that loyalty? It just reached its expiration date. Those who have seen her lately describe a woman who has traded her signature warmth for a cold, steel-eyed focus. She allegedly knows exactly which names are hidden in the ledgers and which private conversations were never meant to be recorded. It is claimed that the sheer volume of evidence she's collected over the years is enough to make the most powerful figures in London lose sleep. But why now? Why, after years of playing the loyal ex-wife, is she suddenly ready to burn the bridges she spent a lifetime building? The answer lies in a single phone call she reportedly received just before fleeing to Austria. A call that made it clear she was no longer under the crown's protection. Rumors indicate that she was told, in no uncertain terms, that her safety net had been shredded. She wasn't just being asked to stay away, she was being erased from the narrative entirely. But the people making those demands forgot one crucial detail. You can't erase someone who knows exactly where the ink came from. As she watches the snow fall from her balcony, she's reportedly finalizing a deal that would put her face on every screen in the world. This isn't a simple interview. It's a £1.3 million documentary that promised to expose the one thing the palace has spent millions to hide. And the first chapter of that story? It starts with a secret meeting in 2026 that changed everything. The ultimate betrayal didn't happen in a courtroom. It happened behind the closed doors of a private palace study. Imagine being told that after 30 years of keeping the world's most dangerous secrets, you are suddenly a liability. Reports suggest that the turning point came when a high-ranking royal official informed her that her access to the family's private security and legal counsel was being permanently severed. It was a cold, calculated move to distance the monarchy from the looming shadows of the past. But this wasn't just a budget cut. It was a message. Insiders say the woman who once occupied the heart of the royal circle found herself staring at a dial tone. For years, she believed her silence was a currency that would buy her safety and a place at the table. Instead, it seems she was merely being kept on a leash that has now been snapped. Rumors indicate she was particularly stung by the realization that her former allies, those she had defended at her own reputation's expense, were the ones who signed off on her exile. She wasn't just being pushed out, she was being framed as the sole architect of the family's latest controversies. But here is where the story takes a dark, unexpected turn. According to sources, she didn't leave the palace empty-handed. While the cleaners were preparing to lock her out, she was reportedly securing files that date back to the early 1990s. We're talking about handwritten notes, private logs, and correspondence that could clarify exactly who knew what and when they knew it. It is believed that she holds the key to a specific high-profile association that the family has spent millions trying to scrub from public memory. As she sat in that tinted van heading for the airport, she wasn't crying over her lost titles. She was allegedly reviewing a list of names. Each name represents a story, and each story represents a crack in the palace's armor. The world thinks this is about a documentary, But the real power play is far more personal. Because while the public focuses on the money, the real threat is the information she's been hoarding since the day she first walked into the royal fold. And what she found in those files regarding a certain infamous financier is about to make the previous scandals look like a warm-up act. Loyalty has a price, but for the woman once at the heart of the York household, that price just became unaffordable. While the world watched the headlines, a private vault of correspondence was allegedly being cracked open. Reports suggest that buried within these archives are messages that link her directly to the most infamous social circles of the last 20 years. We aren't talking about casual acquaintances. It is claimed that these records reveal a level of frequency and intimacy that completely contradicts the official regret she voiced years ago. The most chilling part: these aren't just old memories, they are digital receipts. Insiders say that in early 2026, a series of recovered emails surfaced that allegedly show her acting as a high-level gatekeeper, moving between the palace and private islands with ease. For years, the narrative was that she was a victim of bad associations, but these new whispers suggest something far more calculated. Rumors indicate she may have known about the investigations long before the first gavel ever fell. Every time she was seen in public with those controversial figures, she was supposedly building a bridge of influence that the monarchy is now desperate to burn. But you can't burn a bridge that's been backed up on a hard drive. It is believed that she didn't just save these messages for nostalgia, she saved them as an insurance policy. If the pressure from the authorities intensified, she would have the leverage to ensure she wasn't the only one left standing when the music stopped. As the legal walls close in, the strategy has shifted from defense to total exposure. Sources close to the situation claim that she has reached a breaking point where protecting the firm no longer serves her interests. She is allegedly tired of being the scapegoat for men who stayed in the shadows while she took the heat. But as she prepares to release this information, a new and terrifying question has emerged. If she reveals the truth about her past associations, she isn't just exposing herself. She's exposing the financial lifeline that has kept her afloat for decades, and that money trail leads directly to a realization that will leave the public speechless. The money hasn't just dried up, it has completely vanished, leaving a trail of broken promises and empty accounts in its wake. In early 2026, the glamorous facade finally cracked when reports suggested that 7 of her primary charities and nearly all of her private business ventures had collapsed simultaneously. This wasn't just a streak of bad luck. It is claimed that the invisible financial lifeline she relied on for decades was abruptly cut by the palace to force her into total submission. For the first time in her life, the woman who once traveled by private jet is allegedly facing a reality where even her mountain retreat is a luxury she can no longer afford. Insiders say the desperation in her inner circle is palpable. She isn't just fighting for her reputation anymore, she's fighting for her survival. Sources indicate that her bank accounts were recently flagged, causing a panic that rippled through her legal team. It is believed that every remaining asset she owns is being scrutinized by authorities who are curious about where her lifestyle funding actually originated. But as the walls of her financial empire crumble, she isn't surrendering. Instead, she's reportedly looking at her archives as her only remaining retirement plan. The stakes reached a fever pitch when rumors indicated she had rejected a final hush money settlement from the Crown, deemed by her to be an insult. She allegedly realized that being paid to stay quiet was no longer enough to cover the mounting debts that threatened to consume her. According to sources, she is now operating on the principle that if she can't have her old life back, no one else gets to keep theirs either. This financial death spiral has pushed her into a corner where the only way out is to sell the one thing she has left, the truth. But as she prepares to sign the most controversial contract of her career, a chilling realization has begun to circulate among royal watchers. It's not just about her own bank balance. It is claimed that the records she holds reveal a shocking, open arrangement within her marriage that allowed for things the public was never supposed to know. If she chooses to reveal how the money moved between her former partner, and their infamous associates, the entire foundation of the royal estate could be shaken to its core. And what she knows about their private pact is exactly what we're diving into next. The marriage was a front, but the pact they made in the shadows was very real. For years, the world wondered why she stayed so close to a man whose reputation was in freefall. But the answer is far more calculated than simple loyalty. According to sources, the two operated under a mutually assured destruction agreement, that made them untouchable as a pair, but vulnerable as individuals. It is claimed that they shared every secret, every connection, and every ledger, ensuring that if one was ever cast out, the other would have the firepower to take down the entire establishment. Insiders say this open arrangement wasn't just about their private lives. It was a professional alliance built on the most sensitive information imaginable. Reports suggest that she was the eyes and ears in rooms where he couldn't be seen, acting as a buffer between the palace and the world's most shadowy figures. Rumors indicate that she holds proof of specific meetings that allegedly took place within royal residences, meetings that were never logged in the official circular. She isn't just a witness. She was a participant in a decades-long game of chess that has now reached a stalemate. But the board is about to be flipped. Now that the palace has officially severed her ties, that pact has effectively been nullified. It is believed that she feels the contract of their silence has been breached by the family's refusal to protect her financial interests. Sources suggest she has recently told her legal team that the gloves are off. She is allegedly ready to detail how the open arrangement allowed for a flow of influence and favors that reached the highest levels of the British government. The tension is reaching a breaking point because she knows that her former partner cannot defend himself without incriminating the very institution he was born to serve. If she goes down, the plan has always been that they all go down together. But as she prepares to pull the trigger on this information, the Crown is reportedly preparing a countermove so drastic it could silence her forever. They are no longer playing for reputation, they are playing for the survival of the monarchy itself. And the final move in this high-stakes game is a nuclear option that no one saw coming. The nuclear option isn't a figure of speech. It is a $20 million bidding war for the truth. As of April 2026, reports suggest that a major streaming giant and a global publishing house have entered a direct confrontation over her story. This isn't just about a documentary anymore. It's about a potential memoir that insiders say is being written with scorched earth intensity. It is claimed that the draft includes names of individuals who have never been publicly linked to the scandals, including figures currently serving at the highest levels of the British government. The pressure is mounting within the palace walls like never before. Sources indicate that a series of emergency meetings were held this month to discuss the possibility of a total media blackout. But in the age of digital leaks and global platforms, you can't simply hide the sun. Rumors indicate that she has already moved the most sensitive data to a secure server outside of the UK's jurisdiction, ensuring that even a legal injunction wouldn't be enough to stop the reveal. She has allegedly created a dead man's switch for her reputation. If she is silenced, the files go public anyway. But while the world waits for the first trailer to drop, a new and unsettling theory has emerged from within the intelligence community. Some believe that she isn't just looking for a payday, but for total immunity. It is believed that she is using the threat of the documentary as leverage to negotiate a permanent, high-security return to the fold. She is allegedly playing a game of chicken with the king himself, betting that the Crown will blink first to avoid a public reckoning that could end the monarchy as we know it. The clock is ticking and the snow in the Alps is starting to melt. As she prepares to make her next move, the question is no longer if she will speak, but how much of the foundation she's willing to burn down in the process. The world is watching the Austrian resort, waiting for the one statement that will change everything. But as it turns out, the most shocking revelation won't come from a press release. It's hidden in the final conclusion of her plan. A conclusion that proves this was never just about money or revenge. It was about a prophecy that is finally coming true.